Today's luminary is St Alban, whose feast day is on the 22nd of June. If you go to St Albans on that day, you will find, probably not this year though, but normally you would find a great parade, and it's great fun. They have great big models that tell the story of St Alban. It is said that Alban lived in the 3rd century. He was somebody who lived in Verulamium, what we now know as St Albans. One night, a priest arrived at his door, escaping persecution, and Alban took the priest in and began to speak with him. During that conversation, Alban decided to become a Christian, and he decided that he would give himself up in the place of the priest. And so he did. He said that he was a Christian, and he was martyred in the priest's place. He is what is known as the first martyr of this nation, a proto-martyr, the first in this country to give their lives for Christ. St Alban's story is one that is very inspiring. It is one that speaks of great generosity and sacrifice. It is one that speaks about the way in which we as Christians look towards something other than ourselves. In the book, Rowan Williams speaks a little bit about what it is said that Alban said to the magistrate when he was questioned about his Christian faith before he was sentenced to death. The magistrate, it is said, asked him who he was, what was his name, his race, his family, in a place where the structures of the day placed quite a lot of emphasis on where you were from or what sort of class you were. Alban answered in a very different way. He said, "I am a Christian, and I stand ready to do my Christian duty. I shall always adore and worship the true and living God." Alban spoke about where his loyalties lay. They were far beyond anything of the earth and looked only towards the future. I think it's a shame that he's not recognised as the patron saint of this country. I think there is something very beautiful about his story of bringing in and letting in somebody who was a stranger, somebody who had no idea who they were, and showing such compassion even to the point of death. Perhaps if he had been the patron of this country, Rowan Williams said it might perhaps have helped us to overcome that deepest and most disturbing of contemporary pathologies, the strange and terrible fear of the refugee, the helpless stranger in our midst, that so distorts so much of our social and political life. But God, in his well-known sense of irony, has in fact given us a national patron in St George, who happens to have been what we would now call a Palestinian Arab. I wonder occasionally, Rowan Williams says, whether all those who fly the flag of St George with such enthusiasm these days quite realise that they are paying homage to somebody whose company might have been a little more unsettling than they imagine. As Christians, it is pointed out, our loyalty is to the future, to something that does not yet exist. Our Christian duty is to protect and to cherish everything that is to come, not necessarily things that are with us now. It's one of the reasons why the care of the environment is so important, because we are looking forward to the future. So much of our hope, especially at this time, is for something that doesn't yet exist. A time when we perhaps will return to something that looks like our ordinary lives. A time when we can see our loved ones. A time when we can enjoy the summer sun with our friends and family. Alban reminds us that as a Christian, our loyalty is to nothing but the kingdom. I am a Christian, and I stand ready to do my Christian duty. I shall always adore and worship the true and living God.